Welcome to the channel and the video at Impera 1.2. Now I think we can all agree that with the release of 1.2 the starting off situations for factions is a lot more tougher, and even the first 20 turns now, there's no guarantee now that you can actually survive the first 20 turns, which is kind of mean that you've got to rethink your restart strategies whereas compared to previous versions. Now I've already done a video on one way to do that, which I kind of saw in a comment in the Total War Center, of using a general to come out and pin the adjacent faction and then build your army up and then go and attack. The pinning general stops the army from recruiting, which keeps them small. Now this is going to be another strategy. It's actually going to be a bit of a blitzkrieg type approach, which I think can work when you've got a single starting faction like Macedonia here, and I think it probably does work better with the Hellenic factions that have got the better starting units than, say, a barbarian faction, although it is also applies to Rome up here. You can use it to take out the Etruscan League, and the idea behind it is to pick a settlement that's close to you, and it's got to be a single region. You can't really use this against someone like Carthage or Rome or Egypt or the Succalids, because they would just come back and exterminate you. And as you can see here, that with the start now, virtually all these single regions now start with an army plonked right on the top of it, same as yours, and they're comparable in size. They all tend to start with 4 units. They got 4 units, they got 4 units. And if you're new to the game and you're a bit uncertain, if you kind of look at the thing here, you look at the garrison, you will see here it says a garrison of 11, and you'd kind of top that up and say, well, I've got an army of 4 units going up against 15 units, which you've got no chance of winning. But if you actually look carefully at the garrison, you can see that they've got 1 Greek hoplites, 3 Greek militia, 4 Greek citizens, and 3 Greek archers. So it's not as strong as it actually looks. The hoplites are probably a fairly good unit, and the Greek archers could be a problem, but to be honest, the Greek militia and the Greek citizens are good clout, and you can knock them out of the battle. So the numbers look impressive. So truthfully, what you're really fighting is this army plus an extra hoplite unit and some slingers, which probably comes out about an army of 10. So there is an opportunity here, and this technique can work in up to the first 3 turns. Obviously the ideal is the first turn, but if you've got something that's a bit more shaky, and I think more importantly that when you're starting the campaign, it's worth a try, because you're not risking much. Because if it all goes wrong and you lose the battle, or it comes untacked, you just lost a few turns and you can restart the campaign. So how does this work? Well, what the key factor to it is what's the quality and this number of mercenaries. You can see here they've got a lot of mercenaries here, and what I'm going to do is recruit all the mercenaries, and that now gives me an army of 10. So I've now got an army of 10 going up against 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, no, possibly 9, say 10. So you can say these armies are equivalent, because this is an army of 10 pretty reasonable quality units, and this is a bigger army of 15, but a lot of the units are rubbish. So what you can do now, and again I'm using Macedonia because I can move in 1 turn, and what you want to do is try and actually declare war and attack the army in the settlement rather than the settlement. And you can see here we've got the edge, and now you can actually see the units. And of course if you go for the auto resolve, Pyrrhic victory, look at that, wow, valiant defeat, and it says prediction accuracy moderate. I mean, I would fight this battle. And again, if you're new to the game, guys, or you're not familiar with a certain faction, it's a different fighting style than what you're used to, fighting this battle is good practice. I mean, if you lose, you lose. You just restart and give it another go. I mean, you can fight this battle over and over again, and it's a very good way to improve your battle technique as well. rather than getting into a campaign, getting to a crucial battle and losing it because you don't have the experience. So we're actually going to fight this. Now, ideally, what we're looking for is for them to rally out and attack us. That's the reason why you attack the army, not the settlement. Because quite often, if you attack the army, the AI will rally out to attack you. And to be honest, because I've got cavalry, I want to actually fight in the... Well, just made that, guys. Because I've got this cavalry... these 3 cavalry units, I want to fight out here because a field battle against these weaker units is far better than trying to fight in the city, because if you have to fight into the city, then those townspeople and the Greek militia start to count a bit more, and it's a tougher battle. You can still win it, guys, but it could be a tougher battle. But out in the field with 3 units of cavalry, they've got 2 units of cavalry over here, which are a bit of a problem, but I think we should be able to win. Now, the other thing you also need to remember, guys, again, if you're new to the game and played other games, you may not be aware of this, that the defending army gets, I can't remember what they're called now, basically pits and spike traps. So in here somewhere is their defences, and really you don't want to send cavalry roaring over those defences. So what we're going to do is, we've got a couple of bronze shield pike units. These are pretty good. I mean, I'll switch this on for this here. They got these guys are this here, melee attack 32, defense 63. These are hoplites. I think we're going to have these guys on the edge here. Maybe we're. So I mean, they're not brilliant units, but they do the job, guys. And what I'm looking for is, we got the pike unit there, and of course I'll do something I don't normally do. I've really badly got out of the habit of fighting in groups. I know you should be doing it in Rome too, but I'm quite bad with it. And we've got some axemen here. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to team the axemen up with these mercenary palsats, and what I'm going to do is have one of these guys in the centre. You're going to be the sucker bait. We're going to have another guy here, and I'm going to take these guys off fire at will. There'll be a reason for this, guys. To start the battle, and first thing we're going to do is, where are you? There. We're going to move these guys forward. Select these troops. Press the Alt key. Move these guys forward. All I'm going to do is move these guys up into the trees, and what I'm going to do is, and now you can see the defences, guys, and they can be vulnerable, and if you run your troops over them, especially the spike pits, you can actually run into problems. I mean, these over here are just a nuisance. But what you can do sometimes is the weakness in their defences, because the AI will often line them all up like this, is that the weakness is the brimstone pits, because they won't damage you unless they actually catch fire. So what I'm going to do is, we're going to keep moving these units forward. By your command! What I'm going to do is bring these guys up this way. We're going to keep these guys in the trees. And what I'm hoping is that the AI will... I think what we're going to do is try and sneak our cavalry forward there. The AI can be a bit thick sometimes. Oops. Get these guys up. For the gods of Olympus and speed. And what I'm actually looking for is, I think we're going to pull the general back from that, but we're going to send these guys out through.
Our hidden units have been discovered.
Get these guys Guys into hoplite, get them to form phalanx.
Double time!
Our general is under attack.
Right. And what I want to do is get these guys round the back. You can see here the AI's actually
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
coming through there.
Quick march!
What I'm going to do is push these guys forward.
And a double.
Quickly now!
Just going to bring these guys up.
Thessalians! Quickly now!
Pull these guys away. They've got very close to that cavalry. Right.
Bronze shield pikes! Missiles awaiting targets! By your command! Agrianian! Fire on the enemy!
Right. Got these citizens here.
General! Companion cavalry! Ready! Missile cavalry at your command!
Right.
Protests!
That's it.
One of our units has used
Not
all
as
its
good as I was
ammunition.
hoping, but right.
Thessalian cavalry!
What we'll do is get the
At your service! Riders!
right.
Advance! Bronze shield pikes!
Keep moving forward, guys. We've seen off there. So even the Pelsats can fight well.
General! Your orders! In service of the people!
Bring these guys in.
Thessalian cavalry!
And we get the Thessalian. Of course, with mercenaries, they are technically expendable.
Await your command! Protests! Pikes ready!
And we'll move these guys forward.
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
And there's my general.
General! Tell us!
Right, we'll get the general up here now. Draw the Thessalian cavalry away. We've broken off their areas here.
Melee troops awaiting orders! Protests! Sons of Ares! Break
Right.
the lines! The brave, ready for orders! Companion cavalry!
And we've got Greek
One
citizens
of our
here.
units has used all its ammunition.
We can break these citizens. Of course, the more casualties you can impinge on them.
Hades, take our enemies!
Get these guys here. Is the cavalry coming in?
Warriors of Macedon! Agrianian axemen! Protests!
Right. Cavalry's got round the back.
Agrianian axemen! Hack them down! Hoplites, ready!
Right.
Companion cavalry! At full glory!
These guys are breaking off. Right. Let's get into these.
Melee infantry! Pike infantry at your command!
Pike infantry. Start turning the flanks on them.
The men are wavering.
Back! Back! Withdraw! Hoplites! Marching order at the double!
Right. So we're in on these guys.
Bronze shield pikes!
Bronze shields turn to face that cavalry.
Protests! Commander!
The
course
battle
we
is
want-
turning in our favor.
General!
Right.
Ready for orders!
These hoplites in on the back.
General! With full glory!
And of course we can pop the war cry on this general unit.
Riders at the double! Bronze
I think, of these guys, so we can
Advance at speed! Quick march! Ready and waiting!
push the Pelsats in, driven their general off.
General! Advance at speed!
And of course, we can do now is
By your command!
where's the
Thessalian cavalry!
Thessalian cavalry?
Flying wedge! And forward! Ready!
There we are. That's how it's done, guys. You can see there we lost 152 and we killed 942 because we were able to get round the back through the line, mitigate their cavalry, be able to get in amongst all those weaker units. And of course, as you kill all those citizen militias and citizens and the archers, that reduces the morale of the army. And as you can see, the real battle, my front line was able to hold their best units. You can see here, well, we killed everything. You can see here that I hardly taken, even the unit that broke and ran hardly took any casualties. I think it broke and run because I left it too far, too exposed out on the flanks. But you can see here that these units there, total men killed and captured 2. And of course we were taking the settlement. And the Anatolian League is no more. And of course now we can probably certainly get rid of these guys. We can't afford to pay 655 for them. And probably these as well. I think kind of tempted to keep these two for the moment. They're quite relatively cheap and we've still got a reasonable income. Anyway, I'm not playing the campaign, guys, and that's how you can blitz out against an opposition. Because what you do then is obviously you just need to take this up to tier 2. I would probably put food in here to start with, and then we can expand to the olive press later on, because I think having the provincial capitals can be a bit of a pain with respect to food, so getting some food growing straight away is quite useful. But that's basically how you can blitzkrieg out. And the beauty of this approach, guys, is you need to do it in the first 2 or 3 turns. So if a faction's just over 2 turns away, you can move them up to the border, take up a position, recruit a couple of troops, and then after on the 2nd turn or 3rd turn, snap the mercenaries, come in, take their settlement out. Obviously the battle will be a bit tougher, but I think the key lesson from this approach is that do not be overly intimidated by garrisons. I mean, we can't see the garrisons here, but there's a Athena garrison here. Obviously this is a walled city, it'll be a lot tougher proposition, but again, you can see 7 of those units, so it says 14, but half of the army is rubbish. The real challenge here would be the 2 Greek hoplites and the 4 Greek archers, especially in a walled city, because those Greek archers would sit up on this wall and kill all your troops. So maybe trying to blitz a region with a provincial capital may not be such a good idea, but it was certainly can work on a minor settlement. Again, just to kind of recover the points, guys, it's an opportunist attack. You can make it work. It's best if it's used against a single faction, because you wipe them out and they're gone, so they won't come back. Obviously if you did it against Epirus with 2 regions, they've could have another army somewhere else, or vice versa against Rome. I think it works best with Hellenic factions because they've got the better, you know, the hoplites and the better troops. I think with barbarian factions it could not be quite so successful, because to be honest, the barbarian factions I've looked at, the troops you can recruit aren't much better than garrison troops, and they tend to have quite low morale because they can't stand in a battle. And another key thing is cavalry. If you can get at least 2 cavalry units, so again, if you start with a general cavalry unit and you can get a 2nd cavalry unit, ideally like I had, it was 3 cavalry units, they can really turn the difference in a battle, because you can get in behind those missile troops and those weaker troops, drive them off the battlefield, that reduces the morale of the opposing general unit and their elite troops. And then of course once you've driven off their missile troops and all their rubbish troops, then that sets you up for the rear charges to come in and destroy the enemy. So I think that's where I'm going to leave it, guys. Hope you found this interesting. I mean, if you've got any comments about it, if you've got any factions that you think this would work, feel free to add it. I mean, but I would certainly say that when you play a new faction, it's certainly worth looking into, even in the barbarian situation, and giving it a try, you know, because at the end of the day you don't lose anything. If it doesn't work and you go down on a battle, you can always restart the campaign and fight the battle again if it was winnable and you just made a mistake. Again, if you're new to the game, it's a good way to practice fighting a battle, because you don't lose very much in the terms of the campaign, because you can fight that battle over and over and over again. Just go out, restart it, come back in and fight it. And these types of battles against small armies where you've only got 10, 11 units is a very good way to learn to fight a battle, because it means you're not microing a 20 stack army. You're only having to micro 10 or 11 units. So it's a good way to practice your micro techniques as well, guys. So there's that spin. And at the end of the day, if it doesn't work, you just restart the campaign and then try another approach, which is probably turtling up, building an army up, building your economy up, building a war chest, which is the other approach to do it. Build a nice big war chest and then get stuck in. But this is where I'm going to leave the video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you found it interesting. As I say, feel free to place comments. And until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.